Write from dictation is so important, and it's literally impossible to get a good listening and writing score without nailing this task. Write from dictation contributes points to both listening and writing. Specifically, it carries no less than 19.7 points to listening and no less than 26.8 points to writing. Depending on how many write from dictation questions you get and how many words in each one of them, it may carry even more points in your test. A few experiments have been done with the Pearson official mock test. If you only complete the write from dictation question type with 100% accuracy, the score you get indicates how many points write from dictation carries for that particular test. In one such experiment with Pearson official mock test, just write from dictation alone gives 29 points to listening and 35 points to writing. In another similar experiment, just write from dictation alone gives 23 points to listening and 38 points to writing. This is absolutely insane that this one single question type contributes this much to your final score. This brings us to the number one tip I have for you on write from dictation. That is, don't underestimate the importance of this question type. The worst mistake one can make in PTE test is missing out on one or more write from dictation questions. When it comes to test preparation, you really need to invest a lot of time and effort in this. I will talk about how to access and use the question bank effectively in a later part of this video. Tip number 2 is managing your time properly. Let me elaborate this point using an example. Before each audio plays, you get 7 seconds of preparation time. This is between the time you submit your answer for your previous question and the time the next audio starts to play. For write from dictation, there's not much you can do during this preparation time. Just take a deep breath and remind yourself to stay focused. Then you hear the recording of a sentence.
Most courses about programming take no more than 1 hour to complete.
What you need to do is type in exactly what you heard in the text box and submit your answer. You will get 3 or 4 of these in your test. What's worth noting is that there is no time limit on how long you spend typing that sentence. So pay close attention to the timer and make sure you leave enough time for the remaining questions. You want to make sure you leave at least 1 minute for each write from dictation question. Make sure you finish all write from dictation questions and hit that final submit button. Now let me expand the scope of this tip a little bit to give you more information on time management for the entire listening section. Listening is the final section of the PTE exam. Now by this point, a lot of people are exhausted. As a result, their concentration drops. Before the listening section, you will get the option to take a 10-minute break. Now it's entirely up to you whether you take it or not. For some students, they feel that the break actually disrupts their flow and rhythm of the exam. So if that's the case for you, you can go straight into the listening section without taking the break. However, if you feel that a break will give you time to refocus so that you can go into listening section with highest concentration possible, you can raise your hand and take this break. Just make sure you come back within 10 minutes. Listening section involves a total of 8 question types. It's split into 2 sections. Section 1 has just 1 question type called Summarize Spoken Text. Section 2 contains the rest of the 7 question types. The reason for this split is because of the timer. In section 1 for Summarize Spoken Text, each question within it is timed individually, so you know exactly how much time to spend for each question. However, in section 2, the question types are timed as a whole, so you will get one timer of about 23 to 28 minutes to complete all 7 question types. It's extremely important for you to manage your time well during your exam for these 7 question types. Not all tasks are created equally. As you can see from this table, tasks like multiple choice, multiple answers, highlight correct summary, multiple choice, single answer, select missing words carry few points. All these question types combined don't even add up to one Write From Dictation, so don't give them too much value and spend too much time on them. For those questions, listen to the audios, read the options, answer and click through them right away. You cannot waste 1 or 2 minutes per question. They don't add that many points to your score anyways. You get 3 or 4 Write From Dictation questions in your test, so make sure you leave at least 5 minutes for the entire question type. Now, the next tip I have for you is to use chunking technique to improve your working memory. Let me explain. Write From Dictation is challenging for a lot of people because they cannot remember all the words after listening to it only once. This is very understandable because our working memory has limited capacity. We can only hold 7 pieces of information at a time using our working memory. 0430AA129A is a typical Australian mobile number. It's challenging to remember after hearing it only once, especially when you are under pressure. What do we do in Australia? We often divide it into 3 chunks: 0430AA1298. All of a sudden, there is a rhythm to how we say it, and it's becoming easier to remember. This is a technique of chunking. Cutting large pieces of information into smaller pieces helps us understand and remember. To apply chunking technique to Write From Dictation, we simply divide the sentence into different chunks or phrases. So instead of trying to remember 9 to 15 words, we only need to remember 3 or 4 phrases. For example, for this sentence, we can divide it into 3 parts. Online bank accounts often offer higher yield than traditional bank branches. The next tip I have is start typing as soon as the audio starts to play. There is a multitasking at play here. Using this method, you start to type the first few words while you listen to the rest of the audio. Don't get bogged down in spelling because you can fix it later. What you write there should be reminding you how the words sound rather than how the words is spelled. At the same time, you should silently repeat what you heard in your mind over and over again until you have the full sentence in the text box. This type something straight away technique is best to be combined with the chunking technique because they are both geared towards helping you remember. You have the digital scribble on your screen and you have the echo in your mind. Now, what if despite of all your best efforts, you still couldn't get all the words correct? There are a few hacks that will help you maximize your points. Let's say you hear this audio.
Everyone must evacuate the premises during the fire drill.
And ideally, you write every word correctly and get a full mark. According to Pearson official score guide, you get 1 point for each correct word spelled correctly, and you get 0 for each incorrect or misspelled word. So if this is what you typed in, you get a full mark for it. If you miss a word, you lose 1 point. If you replace a word, you lose 1 point. If you add a word, however, you don't necessarily lose any points as long as your answer includes every single word in the audio prompt. For example, if this is your answer, you get 1 point for each correct word spelled correctly, and you get 0 point for each incorrect or misspelled word. For this sentence, you still have all the correct words spelled correctly, therefore you get a full mark. Yes, you have 1 actual word there, but any incorrect or misspelled word adds 0 points to your score anyway, therefore it's irrelevant. Honestly, this creates a massive loophole. If you are unsure whether a word should be in a sentence or not, type it anyways. If you are unsure about the correct spelling of a word, include multiple versions of it. If you are unsure if a singular or a plural form should be used, include both. If you are unsure if your American or British style of spelling are consistent within the sentence, include both. You get the idea. Now, relating to this topic of what mistakes reduce your points and what mistakes are irrelevant for Write From Dictation, I have prepared a few frequently asked questions. Let's have a look. Number 1, do I get 0 if I make more than 3 mistakes? The answer is no. There is a rumor out there that if you make more than 3 mistakes in one sentence, then you automatically get 0 for that question. It's simply not true. at least not now. So for the same example, if you give an answer like this, you will still have a full mark. Remember, PTE is a machine scored test. The technology is trained to scan your answer to find the target words in the prompt. The fact that Pearson says you get 0 point rather than -1 for each incorrect or misspelled words means those mistakes are simply irrelevant. The second question is, what if the sequence of the words in my answer is incorrect? The answer is no. As long as your answer includes every single one of the words in the audio, you will be fine. Sequence does not matter. For the same example, if your answer is this, you will still get a full mark. Now, Pearson's official score guide is silent on the point of sequence, and the conclusion of sequence does not matter has been tested and proved by using the official mock test. Now, the third question is for numbers. Should we write it in digits or should we write it in alphabetical manner? The answer is both are okay. For example, you can type both 200 and 200 and it will be counted as one word only. So make your job easier, just write down the digits. I hope this answers some of your questions. Leave a comment down below and let me know if you have any other questions about Write From Dictation. At this point, I hope you're feeling more confident about Write From Dictation and your PTE test. Because Write From Dictation is so important that it can literally make or break your exam, knowing these tips is not enough. That's why I prepared this PDF document and a series of practice videos for you. It's an entire question bank for Write From Dictation, consists of all recent repeated questions. Make sure you give Write From Dictation the time and effort it deserves. Just listening to it is not enough because you need to know how to correctly spell the words. Use the videos to practice typing with a time limit and use a PDF printout to circle the words you find hard to spell and practice spelling it. I hope you find this video valuable. If you do, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel down below for more future videos like this. Good luck on your PTE preparation and exam.